Olá, gente, tudo beleza com vocês? Hoje estou trazendo esse novo vídeo para o canal para a gente conferir aí o trailer de lançamento do Separateways Remake, que foi divulgado hoje, dia 18 de setembro de 2023. E meu coração tá a mil, né, gente? Porque vocês viram que eu fiquei super empolgada quando eu vi o primeiro trailer, e eu acho que dessa vez não vai ser diferente. Deixa eu deixar o likezinho e vamos assistir.
18 anos.
There is this one thing I must do before I can recover the Ember. Leon and that
Eita.
young woman, they are both infected.
Aquele momento dele surgindo da cabana, né?
But this is your last chance.
Nossa, gente, eu tô muito querendo ver a interação do Luz com a Ada, viu? Com certeza a gente vai ter mais parte com Luz, né? Na campanha da Ada.
Touch the Ember. We'll meet up later.
Olha aí os dois!
Sorry, what kind of a man?
Trecho de gameplay, gente. Vocês viram o trecho de gameplay?
Sorry, Louise.
Olha.
It might be a while.
A Ada puxou o escudo
Stop
do
wasting my
capiroto.
time, Ada. Just get it done.
Gotta keep the client happy.
Ela tem aquela arma, gente, com explosivo. Olha ela no castelo.
You must already feel the effects, eh?
I need to put that thing down.
A boca de piaçaba do bicho.
There are things I must set right.
Why is this so important to you?
Oh, Ada. What to do with you?
Louise,
Olha.
goodbye's gonna have to wait.
Olha ela infectada. Vocês viram, gente, ó. Nossa, gente, eu tô com uma pulga atrás da orelha.
That all depends on you.
Caramba! Teremos um encontro de Edo, Wong e Wesker pessoalmente, cara a cara. Gente, eu amei, gente. Nossa, vamos ver eles cara a cara, gente. E eu tô muito curiosa, né, Tô muito curiosa pra saber como é que a Ada vai se infectar aí no Separateways. Porque no Resident Evil 4 original ela não se infecta, né, gente? Quero ver como é que vai ser isso, nossa. E a interação com o Wesker vai ser maior. Isso só aumenta os indícios. E teremos remake do Resident Evil 5 logo mais, hein, gente? Logo mais teremos remake do Resident Evil 5. Agora a gente vai conferir a gameplay, tá? Quem não quiser ver a gameplay é só parar o vídeo por aqui, tá, gente? Alerta spoilers. Vamos conferir agora o trecho de gameplay do Separateways, do remake do Resident Evil 4.
Control, come in. Louise hid the Ember, but I've sent him to retrieve it. Control, do you copy?
I'm listening.
São 11 minutos, gente, de gameplay. 11 minutos.
We ran into some unexpected trouble.
And? What will you do about it?
Louise is already en route to the church. I'm tracking him every step of the way.
Very well. Then I suggest you hurry.
Copy.
Eu
Just need to
pensei que
confirm
era
my route
trecho,
first.
né? Mas são 11
Heading out to get a
minutos.
visual of the area.
We we've got some brand new gameplay footage of Resident Evil 4's DLC Separate Ways ahead of its launch next week, showing off new mechanics, new scenes, and
Olha ela
old
no
locations
castelo.
from a brand new perspective. RE fans are definitely going to want to see this, so
Nossa, o Wesker tá muito lindo.
Understood.
it's kind of hard to believe that the Resident Evil 4 remake released only 6
O
months
Wesker
ago.
tá perfeito,
An utterly
gente.
brilliant reimagining of one of the greatest games of all time, the RE4 remake was a huge success.
Não tem
Critically,
tradução em português
commercially,
ainda, né,
and
gente?
technically. The recent run of Resident Evil
Ainda não
remakes
tem
has been a
legenda.
bit of a mixed bag with some fans, RE3 in particular raising some eyebrows for how short it was. But with 4, Capcom put itself and the franchise back on top. It's kind of hard to pick out any personal critiques of the game, to be honest. And in what's shaping up to be a legendary year for game releases,
Olha, nossa, tá muito
RE4
gata,
remake
gente.
remains a real high point. And so we finally get some
Acho que não tem legenda em português. Português não tem, gente. Só tem inglês.
brand new content for the game very, very soon, in the form of Separate Ways, itself a remake of some all-time great added content. The original Separate Ways wasn't part of the original GameCube release of RE4. It was introduced in the game's launch on PlayStation 2 all the way back in 2005, and included in all subsequent releases of the full game, unlocked on the player's completion of Leon's main campaign.
Olha ela
Separate
tocando
Ways saw
sino.
you control fan-favourite double agent Ada Wong, seeing firsthand how she orchestrated multiple key events in RE4's main game. She basically journeyed parallel to Leon, working behind the scenes to help him overcome obstacles and ensure he succeeded. For her own personal gain, of course.
Don't worry, Leon. First time's free.
It filled in gaps in the story from the original game, set up lots of new and intriguing questions, let us see key moments from a different perspective, and just generally let us bask in the absolute perfection that is Ada Wong. So what will the new Separate Ways offer? According to
Olha,
Edwin
gente,
Edsel,
meu Deus
promotion
do céu,
producer
tá
of
legal,
Resident Evil
viu?
4, writing on the official PlayStation blog, Separate Ways tells the story of Ada Wong and her parallel journey through the events of Resident Evil 4, filling in unanswered questions from the main story. The full story will be revealed as you view both sides of events from both Ada and Leon's viewpoints. Looking at the brand new footage, Ada seems to play very similarly to Leon, with the new parry mechanic very much in action. R2 knife opportunities to silence downed enemies and silence
Ela se
knife
pendura,
takedowns
né?
for
Eu
unaware
adoro,
enemies.
gente.
The big
Quando a Ada
difference
se
for Ada,
pendura.
however, is that she comes equipped with a grappling gun. In addition to the
Eu adoro
variety
essas
of
habilidades
firearms from
dela.
the original game and the knife parry that you're familiar with from Leon's campaign in RE4, writes Edzo on the blog, Ada will also wield a grappling
normal é
gun. This can be
que
used to get to various
ela seja mais
locations,
leve do
as
que o
well as
Leon,
take
né,
down
gente?
enemies from a distance and launch a ranged
No
melee attack.
próprio Resident Evil
This
4
makes for a
original, ela é
more
mais leve do
exciting
que o
and
Leon.
fast-paced gameplay experience.
Olha,
Using the grappling gun
nossa.
to initiate a melee attack in particular
Bem legal.
looks like a lot of fun. And it's also worthwhile noting that it seems grappling to a distant location can be immediately followed up with the melee attack to nearby enemies upon landing, as you can see in this moment. The grappling gun
Nossa.
adds some much needed spice to what would otherwise be
So?
a retread of familiar locations. It's really
Caraca,
fun to see
gente
Ada
do
zipping
céu,
around
olha.
Leon's old stomping grounds of the castle ramparts and the village outskirts.
Diva,
Keeping
né,
distance from enemies
Maurício?
by whizzing from one tower to another and plugging them with bullets from afar seems just as viable as grappling them in the chest and zooming in for a brutal close kick to the head. It's nice to see a tool that is believably useful for both traversal and combat, especially one that allows Ada to execute her literal every single move with pure style. If Leon in the remake was baby girl, then Ada is definitely mother. Now Ada might help Leon out if it benefits her in the long run, but Ada is most definitely
Eita,
here on her
olha o El
mission.
Toro.
As in the original Separate
El Toro
Ways,
também vai
she's being
infernizar a
employed by
vida da
favorite
Ada,
RE
gente.
bad guy Albert Wesker to retrieve something valuable and destroy anyone or anything that gets in her way. But also, just like the original game, Ada doesn't always play by Wesker's rules. There does seem to be a bit of a divergence from the story of the original DLC, however, in that at the end of the new Separate Ways trailer, it's hinted that Ada has been infected with the virus, which didn't happen originally. On the PS blog, Edzo wrote, "Now Ada must deal with an unknown threat that is devouring her from within. An accomplice with a dark past and ulterior motives.
Ai, gente, só aumenta a ansiedade da gente, né?
Least expected. Leon S. Kennedy, further confirming her infection. We'll be interested to see how that changes up some of the events to come." Other new additions include requests like the ones seen in the main campaign of the remake. Ada 2 can destroy
Eu já tô aqui me
medallions for
sentindo fazendo
rewards.
esses comandos.
The gameplay section that perhaps had us
Já tô me
most
sentindo.
excited for
Eita,
the
olha o El
DLC
Gigante!
featured Ada facing off against El Gigante,
Caraca!
swinging from
Ela vai
rooftop to
enfrentar o El
rooftop
Gigante em
to
cima
keep
do
out of harm's
telhado,
way,
gente.
before using the grappling gun to tumble through the air, pretty much like Spider-Man,
É a mulher
slashing and
gato.
swinging around to
Parece
get
a
the
mulher
parasite
gato.
on its back. If all of the boss fights in the DLC are like this, I mean, sign us up right now. So what else do we want to see from this Separate Ways reimagining? Well, a nice long runtime for one. Given how generous the RE4 remake was, how it really took its time to set the scene and give us all of those fan-favourite moments and more, we're hoping its DLC will follow suit. Especially when it means spending some more time with some iconic characters in this stunning setting. Ada will most
Eu
certainly
vou abrir
be held to
votação,
babysit
viu,
Lewis to
gente,
some
depois.
extent, and we're really looking forward to seeing a bit more interaction between those two characters. Getting a little bit more Wesker screen time will be very interesting too. He featured more in the remake, so it's possible we're gearing up to seeing him in an even bigger role in the DLC. Could either Lewis or Wesker
Nossa.
possibly be featured in a
O problema é que ele mexe
that would
muito,
certainly
né?
be unexpected.
O Leon já é
Wesker as a
difícil de
playable
matar ele,
character
né,
becomes a
gente?
slightly more viable theory too.
Porque
when
ele
you
balança
factor in that
muito
both
de um lado
he
pro
and
outro.
Ada will be added to the Mercenaries mode as part of a free update for the base game launching on the same day as Separate Ways. That's September 21st. While Separate Ways needs to be bought separately, Ada and Wesker's appearance in the Mercenaries mode is a free update. In Mercenaries, if you aren't familiar, players fight waves of enemies in an attempt to defeat as many as they can in 2 minutes. You get additional time added for kills and for collecting bonus
Eita,
orbs,
olha a bomba.
with the objective of achieving the highest score. It's worth a little look for a free update, and at the very least for checking out Ada and Wesker's new appearances. But back to Separate Ways. We'd love to see more Lewis and just generally more interesting character moments.
dá pra
There
perceber
has
que a
been
Ada tá
some
mais
criticism
leve,
of
né?
Ada's depiction in the main game, more specifically that her
Tá muito boa
interactions with
essa
other
habilidade
characters
dela de
have
se
been
pendurar.
quite flat and emotionless. Though you could say that her delivery is deliberate so as to keep everyone, Leon included, at
fator
arm's
gameplay
length,
parece
and
tá
that
ótimo.
makes sense for a double-crossing spy, it just seemed like a bit of a shame, as Ada's at-turn sassy, flirty, funny, sarcastic, effortless quipping in the original game
Fator gameplay
is
tá
one of the
ótimo.
many reasons why she's so many people's favorite character in the whole of the RE universe. Maybe expanding her role in Separate Ways, showing her in more vulnerable moments, allowing her to let her guard down, especially if she's been infected. Maybe that will mean we get to see more of the real Ada. We can see her real personality shine through. More content we'd love to see includes encounters that were cut from the main game, such as the U3 boss fight. Maybe there will even be room for another Mendez fight as well. What the RE remake titles have been really successful at thus far is taking key moments, story beats that fans really think they know
Aqui
and
eu
can
acho que vai ser
anticipate,
aquele momento que a
and
gente vai
turning
achar melhor correr
expectations
do
on
que
their
ficar
heads while
matando.
always preserving the original spirit. So not changing the story for no good reason, but changing it just enough
Eu vou
that fans
correr
can still
com
be
esse-
surprised, yet the overall
Com
tone
esse
is
Gus.
perfectly preserved. It's a really difficult thing to do,
Pular logo
but one
ali,
that
atravessar
Acompanhem
ali,
has
ó.
a great track record for. What will Ada's infection now mean for the overall story? We saw in the gameplay footage provided
Esse é
to us
aquele
that it
tipo de
looks like the
parte que é melhor
second
passar
Verdugo is
correndo
on
do que
Ada's
matando
trail,
eles.
so there will almost certainly be some sort of showdown there. Will she use her infected status to gain the trust of some individuals, maybe even Big Cheese Mendez, to infiltrate Illuminados ranks from the inside? Will we see another Krauser showdown? If this DLC is just 4 hours of the bitch in the red dress zipping her way around the key locations from RE4 and high-kicking everyone in the teeth, I'll honestly be happy. But if it actually manages to do something new and interesting with the original story as well as that, we could be onto something very good indeed. Add some fun and flirty interactions with Ada and Leon along the way, some genuine scares and spooky horror moments too, and this could be pretty great. Obviously, there are some things that narratively Separate Ways simply has to do in order to line up with the events of the main game, but there are some big gaps there
Momento
that
que ela
can be
entra
filled
no castelo,
creatively.
né?
Hopefully, Capcom will take the opportunity to do just that. Until then, I will be grappling with my deep love of Ada Wong and hoping we get as much time with her as humanly possible. So what do you think? How is Separate Ways shaping up in your opinion, and what do you hope it does differently to the original? Which boss fights do you hope Ada takes on, and how do you think her infection is going to change things? Let us know in the comments, and keep an eye on the channel for more RE4 Remake content when it launches later in the week.
Olha!
Thanks for watching. Bye!
Show! Tá muito, muito bom. O que é que vocês acharam, hein, Mores? O que é que vocês acharam? Eu amei. A Ada tá mais fluida do que o Leon. Isso daí faz total sentido, né? Porque no original ela é bem mais leve do que o... Adorei o comando de fazer ela teletransportar com gancho, né? Esse teletransporte com gancho eu acho maravilhoso. Já me senti já fazendo isso. Gostei de tudo até agora, gente. E vocês sabem que eu sou o tipo de pessoa que quando eu não gosto de alguma coisa, eu pego e falo, né? Mas aparentemente tá tudo perfeito. E o Wesker vai ter mais destaque do que nunca, né? Pelo jeito. Nós vimos no trailer que eles vão ter um encontro pessoalmente, né? Coisa que a gente não via no clássico, a gente não via o encontro pessoalmente. A gente só via a comunicação entre eles. E nós vimos no trailer que eles vão acabar se encontrando em algum momento. Não se sabe se vai ser no final da DLC ou se é no começo da DLC, né? Será que ela vai lutar com ele no final? É uma boa pergunta, né, Lucas? Agora, isso daí ia mudar bastante, né? O jogo original. Tomara que tenha o 3. Então, espero que vocês tenham gostado aí, viu, gente, da minha análise, do meu react ao trailer e ao gameplay do Separateways. E vem aí dia 21 de setembro pra gente conferir o game. Falou, pessoal. Beijão. E fui.